What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one I want to talk about Tesla stock and go over something very simple. I want to show you guys my logic behind a trade I made on Tesla, how I made very nice gains off this potential breakout that happened on Friday. I'm going to break down how on earth this could be very helpful for you if you were to apply this to your trading strategies. So I'm going to break this down in a very simple manner. My goal is not to get you to copy everything I do, but more towards just kind of like build an understanding of the mindset of a trader, my thought process, and how this actually worked out. Before I break anything down, though, let me just mention a few things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. Put in $1,000 and you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks. The offer ends very soon. Anyways, let's look at Tesla. What happened with Tesla? Well, basically, when it comes to the way Tesla was moving, I want to actually go back like this. So I'm using the 5-minute time frame here, and I called this out during the pre-market on Friday. I mentioned to you all that Tesla had a wedge that was forming. That's when I drew these trend lines. So we had basically a bullish setup. A bullish falling wedge was forming, at least from my interpretation at the time. And this changed over time, but this is what I was basically eyeing. And I was thinking to myself, okay, where's Tesla? We're at 220. If we lose 220, we could be looking for a move back down. Sometimes these Wall Street guys, they like to just trigger some stops so it could drop a little bit below that, but as long as it holds above this, there's going to be a potential entry. I also want to watch this resistance. Can Tesla try to break out of this? Can we try to push out? What else do I notice? There's a gap up here. Notice this gap up here around 225. So I was looking at all of that, and I was also watching this in real time because I'm using the 5-minute chart. So that's like things are really tight under. I was also looking at like the smaller time frames. You can actually look at those just to see the volatility. And I noticed something else. So on the left side of my screen, notice how I use the EMAs. One way you could use them is as support and resistance. On the 5-minute time frame, I had the 50 EMA, the yellow line right here. This was our resistance in the pre-market. This is the pre-market. Tesla was fighting the yellow EMA. So if Tesla could break this, this would be a potential move to the upside. This did not happen in 1 second. See how they have this big bar here? This actually took 5 minutes to develop. So I was watching the level 221, this resistance right here. And I was seeing Tesla had good volume, big volume. We grabbed liquidity when we opened at 219.6 and we started pushing. And as we started breaking above the 220 area, that's when I just entered calls. I went long on Tesla right here, because I saw this breakout. I saw it starting to break its resistance. I knew this thing was going to push up. And then what else did I notice? I noticed something else. On the 5-minute time frame, the 200 EMA, the red line you guys see above here, this was close to 224, very close to 224 point. It was just under 225 actually, just under 225. Why is that important? Because like I called it, we had this gap on Tesla. This aligns with our resistance, this unfilled gap from the pre-market. So what happened was I saw this thing slowly start breaking slowly. This happened like over 1 to 2 minutes. And then that's when I went long. I bought Tesla, a long position on Tesla, right? And then I set a stop in case Tesla ended up breaking down, right? Because anytime you make a trade, you could be wrong. It's very important to set stops. I went long on Tesla. What happened? Let's go this way. The market opened. Boom. You could see Tesla. What did it do? What did it do? It came down. The first thing it did, it came down to grabbing liquidity down here. And then we had this like crazy move very fast. And then started to push up and up and up. Now I'm using the 5-minute time frame, so it looks like way quicker. It wasn't actually this fast. It actually took longer, but the move happened super quickly, right? Let me actually switch over to the 1 minute now. So we're gonna rewatch that on the 1 minute time frame. I'm gonna show you how brilliant this was, how amazing this was on the 1 minute time frame. Let me double check if this is actually the right time frame. So there we are. So hopefully this is showing the 1 minute. I hope it still is. I'm going to close out of this. Give me 1 second, guys, just to fix this up. Here's how it looked on the 1 minute time frame. Okay. On the 1 minute time frame, I'm going to replay this just for 1 second just to show you. So I was watching in Tesla like this, right? See the trend lines here, the yellow trend lines. This is basically our giant falling wedge. So I was looking for a potential bullish breakout. What are some things I was looking for? Number one, I was managing risks. Number two, I had a price target. I was looking at around 224 to take some profits very close to the 200 EMA. If not, this gap fill around that area. That's where I was going to take profits. And then I had to stop below just to save me in case something went wrong. So I have these in my mind. I have discipline. I have a price target in mind, and I know what the resistance is. Now, although I can't show you on the 1 minute, I could show you that. Once again, let's go over this. On the 5 minutes time frame, the yellow line here, look at the yellow line. Check this out. This was resistance. The moment I knew this was going to break, that's when I knew it was going to launch. I saw a good volume too. I was looking at the data. We are getting lots of orders, good volume, big push on Tesla. All right. So I know it's going to likely try to go up. That's why I took a long position. I knew we had this, falling wedge, which made me inclined to thinking that way. So slowly, Tesla starts pushing like this, slowly. That's when I already entered my position. I was like in around this time right here when we got this break. You guys see the break? This is actually a little like early. Let me actually go back. I don't think this lets me go back. Actually, never mind. Don't worry about that. But right here, I was already entering my position right here. I think it was just under 221. I entered a little bit early. I was already going long on Tesla. First off, I was watching 222.5. If this broke, there's 223.5. Our next level is going to be 225 above that. The gap fill is here. We have a confluence of resistance. The gap fill at 225 is number one. And then number two, we have the 5 minute 200 EMA just under 225. So this is the red line. See how it rejected off the red line, the 200 EMA? I was watching that as well on the 5 minute time frame. I think the 5 minute is very important for Tesla. So now I knew all this. I knew that this thing was going to try to break out. I knew that we had that resistance, and I was watching all of this simultaneously. I had everything drawn out on the 5 minutes. I just don't want to overcomplicate you guys with the chart. I want to make it very simple. So we're looking for a breakout, looking for our take profit up here, and we take profits right around our target up here. So I went long. I waited. I was being very patient. Waited. See that the next resistance was right here. It hit the resistance right here. Look at how it was reacting. It got this hit here in the 223.5 area. It rejected, came back up. It started shopping just a little bit for a few minutes. And then time went on, and it happened really quickly. But Tesla basically came up here to fill the gap. It happened within 2 minutes, and then I just took profits very fast. So I was fast, guys, lightning fast. This happened within like 6 minutes. It was so fast. I remember that. It was crazy, a crazy scalp I made. But at the time, I was eyeing this wedge right here, right? Once it went up there, I just took profits. I was out nice and quick, and I just watched it come back down to earth as time went on. There could have been a potential short opportunity here as well, but I took profits really quickly. Like on that wick is when I like took profits up here. It still pushed back up, but just to be safe, I already exited my position. And then as it started dropping, we had a potential short opportunity right here as well. So we had this breakout zone once we actually lost support right here at 223.5. It was pretty clear to me it was going to come back down to 220. We also had like this kind of looks like a head and shoulders, but if anything, that was like another opportunity. But that's pretty much it. That's how I basically entered it. But my point in kind of going over my thought process, even though it was kind of complicated, was just to show you guys the way I'm thinking, and I'm gonna help you apply this. So I look at EMAs and also moving averages sometimes as support and resistance levels. That's the first thing you have to remember. These could be support, these could be resistance. Don't forget about that. I look at setups, falling wedges, rising wedges, inverse head and shoulders, a bullish wedge, which could be very, very common. And then I have price targets before I enter the trade. I plan out the trade, I set stops, I manage risks, I do all of that. And it's very important, in my opinion. I know I just showed you guys small time frames, but I'm also a guy that looks at bigger time frames, like the 30 minutes all the time. So I have multiple screens. Typically, what I do is I have when I would look at SPY, I usually just do this, just to be honest with everyone. You could do this. You could have like a 5 minutes, a 30 minutes, and then you could also have like another time frame as well. I think my chart's kind of messed up right now, but it doesn't matter, guys. I could fix all this, add my indicators and stuff. This is a little bit messed up. I'm sorry about that, but it's basically the same. And also, don't forget about our, our 4 hour. I also use like a bigger time frame. To get the direction, you want to be looking at bigger time frames. That's going to help you see which way we're moving, at least most of the time. Not always, but most of the time, yes. And then, sorry, this chart's kind of messed up. I will fix this later on, but I keep my indicators and I watch three time frames at once, and this helps me kind of like see and visualize how things are basically looking. So that's kind of like my thought process. I think it's very important to be essentially just looking at these different indicators and such, and uh, always look at bigger time frames as well. That's what I would recommend. Not financial advice. I just look at that just to see direction, and these bigger time frames will help you in a much better manner. So with that being said, guys, I just want to note that especially when you're trying to make your trades, don't let anything get the best of you. Don't let other people out there who are who have different ideas kind of like always change your view, because you could have your own strategies and they could work very well as well, right? Your little ideas, your strategies, they could still work very well. So you shouldn't always just try to change way too much. But in doing so, what you can do is listen to someone else that has experience, and what they do and what they say could be very helpful for you, especially when you apply the knowledge that you're gaining. So I like to look at EMAs, look for breaks of EMAs, look for directions based off larger time frames, time your entries very well, and then look at profit price targets before you enter a trade. Plan the trade out, visualize it, and then if it doesn't work out, it is what it is. You accept it. The biggest thing that's going to affect you in trading is your own self. You're battling your own self. So never forget that. Manage risks, be very careful. And I would say look at multiple time frames. Don't always just try to look at one. Sometimes you could try that depending on your strategy, but I personally tend to look at the bigger time frames on the side just to like get an idea of which direction we're going in and just to see what's going on with the overall trends. But with that being said, I thank you all for listening. Hopefully, this video brought you guys some value. So don't forget, I look at EMAs, look for breakouts, look for confluences. So if we have like a resistance at an EMA, look for like, a potential gap fill which aligns with one of our EMAs. I look at setups as well. I look at all these different things. I time things based on what I project, and I set a stop just to be safe, and I manage risks very well. That is the key to being a profitable trader. Hopefully, this video brought value into your guys' lives. I wanted to make this kind of simple, and I hope to make more videos like this later on. I had like a free day today, so that's why I did it. But thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy the weekend. We have no trading tomorrow for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you, and peace out.